I avoided learning AI for a very long time. And it's not because it was inherently difficult to learn, really. It was more because there's so much overwhelm within this field. There's so much to learn. There's so many tools that are out there. There's so much research that is coming out. It is so difficult to be on top of it. What I used to think is that, okay, these Gen AI, LLMs, and all these things, these are great hot tools, no doubt about it, and it's very, very useful. What I'm going to do is that I will stick to tried and true methods. I will stick to things that are stable, which at the time was data science. So I was a data scientist, I was doing machine learning, and I was really good at it. I thought, okay, I will remain within this field. I will learn a little bit about Gen AI and LLMs. It's not really necessary for me to deep dive into these things. And that was my previous thinking, but I think I was very much wrong. I think there was a lot more that I should have done with Gen AI and LLMs, and I avoided learning them for 2 years. 2 years. It's not a short time, especially with the pace that AI is going right now. And if I had to name what was going on, it was a fear. It was a psychological fear in the back of my mind. I thought I was behind. 2 years not learning into this while people have been already doing this for 2 years is a long time. I thought I need to know the math heavy stuff. I need to know the abstract stuff. Although I know neural networks, I know machine learning, I know how all these things work, but I felt like I should know how LLMs work from the ground up and maybe even be able to train one myself or build one myself, even if it's a toy example. If you look on Twitter, it is so overwhelming with what people are doing, with what people are coming up with. It would really make you feel like an ant in a minefield. It is crazy the kinds of things that are going on Twitter, on AI Twitter, let's call it. And so it was just a psychological fear in the back of my mind. The breaking point came for me when I realized that I really need to scale up, where this is really not becoming an option for me anymore. People are asking me about AI, what is going on in AI. They're asking me for the latest updates, which I couldn't answer. And I felt like I did myself a disservice by not being up to date with the industry, by thinking I would play it safe with what I know right now and then augment it with a little bit of Gen AI, LLM knowledge here and there. But I realized that wasn't where I should have gone in the first place. What kind of helped me is a reframing of that fear. I felt like I should know everything, but I realize now, after being in this field for a while, is that I don't need to have all the answers. I don't need to know everything that is going on, and I have to be comfortable saying no, saying I don't know, right? I don't know this topic. I don't know this tool that has just come out like 7 seconds ago. I don't know this new concept that has just been brought about. I don't know these things. And I also have to be comfortable saying no, that I will not dive deep down into every single thing that is coming out in AI and AI engineering, but I will have a surface level overview. And it stings in the back of my mind a little bit because I'm a technical person. I have a data science and machine learning background, so I should be able to answer all questions that come my way. I can certainly do a huge amount of it for data science and machine learning, but it's not the same with AI. And it's really that change in mindset that is a little difficult to tackle because I have to say I don't know, and I'm not used to saying I don't know because I study everything in my field and I try to be on top of everything in my field, but it's just not practical to do that in AI anymore, especially with the pace that is going on right now. It is crazy what is happening. So what I did was I picked one or two things which I felt were interesting and that I would want to dive deep down into. And that was, for me, that was building agentic AI workflows, right? Not and applications and finding a way to build them into a product. So I focused more on building products using AI, whether they be workflows, whether it's like completely LLM heavy, and it's not too technical. They are more software engineering problems than they are data science or machine learning problems. But what I'm working on right now, these agentic AI workflows, because it's basically calling LLMs via APIs in the backend, but trying to build it into a full rounded product. That I felt was very exciting to me, building something from the ground up, even if I'm just calling LLMs from the background, right? It doesn't, using an API. It doesn't matter. I don't need to have machine learning in there. I don't need to have predictions going on in there using deep learning, using my neural networks. That's not something that is necessary for me to do. I can very well just use APIs. I can very well just call OpenAI APIs or Claude's APIs and build a product, build a working product from scratch, right? With a front end, with a back end that is able to handle user queries. I felt like that was very, very interesting. And because of all these new agentic AI tools that are out there, like Claude Code, Open Code, GitHub Copilot, Cursor, it becomes so much easier to do so. And it becomes so much more fun to do so. And so I started having fun in AI again. And I figured, okay, I don't need to know the academic side of things. I don't need to know the latest techniques that are being used to build LLMs. I don't need to know the techniques of how they're trained or the architecture of it, right? I can just build something. I can just focus on calling LLMs using APIs and have that be my specialty or something that I can answer very, very well. And everything else is like kind of added on top, right? I just have a good overview of how people are using AI, of what kinds of use cases are there. I'm not going to be able to learn everything. That is fine. But I would rather focus on one particular thing, and then for everything else, I will have to say I don't know. I have to be comfortable with it. And I started becoming a lot more comfortable with it when I started documenting my journey, when I started documenting everything that I was learning. Any new article, I would summarize it in a few key points. Any new YouTube video I saw, summarize it in a few key points, right? Whether it's in a notebook or whether it's like on a note-taking app, fine. But documenting that really did help me significantly. But most importantly, I think that fear is the thing that to tackle above all else. Fear of coming out as someone who might not be an expert on something that people expect you to be an expert on. It's a difficult thing to tackle. It's a difficult thing to come to terms with, but that is something that I think is most important and has actually truly helped me. I wouldn't say I'm there. I wouldn't say I'm very comfortable with it even right now, but it's a journey, and I'm in the very, very beginning steps of that journey. There's still a few issues here and there I do need to overcome, but I feel like that is the one step forward for technical people who are expecting too much of themselves. Don't try to do that. Don't try to overwhelm your brain, because we ourselves are not AI. We do not have infinite capacity in our minds. We are very, very limited people. We are very capacitated people. And so we have to learn to operate within that capacity. Get over that fear. It's just a psychological fear in your mind. Once you say no, once you get past that initial phase of saying no the first time, the second time becomes a bit easier. The third time you are a lot more aligned with, okay, yeah, it's fine. It's fine if I can say no. So try to do that.